Ready? Hey folks, Colin here. Thanks for joining us. Today we have got a bit of a list of things to get through, but firstly I'll go through that and say thanks for everyone who joined our competition. Now, a couple of things. We'll also be talking about Gaz Jackson will be joining us on the 19th of December for our live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gaz is a world-renowned dog trainer and he has a couple of books. We'll show you those books in a little while. And he'll be joining us to talk about puppy socialisation and the crucial weeks of puppy socialisation. So what I want you to remember is that if you do get a puppy for Christmas, it is live. Now, the next subject we'll be talking about is dog training collars. How do they work? And then we'll be going on to how to use a dog training collar as well. Next week, we'll be continuing this theme and talking more about dog training collars and some specific issues. We might even see if we can find a special guest to come in and let us know some of their experiences as well. But if you've got any experiences with remote dog training collars, please let us know. Send us a note. We would love to hear your story and we would love to put that up as a feature article on our website. Okay, so the spot prize. We put up a post, lots of fun. Thanks for joining in, and hi to Cindy, who's got a new dog. Also, on that matter, big hello to Vicky. Now, Vicky already has one of our dog fences. That's right, Vicky has one of our dog fences, and she recently came back and got a dog training collar. So hopefully she's tuned in right now, and she's keeping an eye on this because we're going to teach her how, let her know, along as with you guys, how to start using a remote training collar and how do they work and the dog's sort of reaction based on their drive at the time is a very crucial point to remember. Now, the spot prize draw. Because we had so many posts on our Facebook and so many images pop up, we decided to make a competition out of it. Then we actually had such a good response once we did that we actually upgraded the prize from a dog Christmas hamper. You can get these on our website. The guys will put up a post about those, and they're packed full of goodies. We've got toys, water bottles, treats, squeakies. If you come into our shop and you squeak these, it'll cost you 20 cents a squeak. Dog dental chews and some rope toys and a dog bowl. Okay, it's nothing fancy, but it's a lot of fun. And if you want to grab one of those, go onto our website, we'll put in a link and you'll get it by Christmas and it'll be something the dog will enjoy opening. Just ask all the other people that have not only bought them, but some of the people who have won them as well. So we'll put that aside and I'm going to show you who has entered and we'll do a bit of a shout out. Karen Welsh, Jimmy Barnes, thank you. That's Emma Hall. Oh, Jimmy Barnes is actually a cow. We've got Paul the rooster, Mowgli there in a nice little suit. Now, this is people's dating website profile picture. If your dog was on a dating website, what would his profile picture look like? Zoe, Cindy there, thanks for sending Zoe in, looking great. I'm sure you're going to have lots of fun there with Zoe and look after her as well as you look after all your other little chow-chows. Lynn Hayes, thanks, great to hear from you again. Fu, Kathleen, Oliver, g'day Kathleen. Rocky's there, Janelle O'Shaughnessy, thanks heaps for that. Didn't get a name there. Tia's there, Anne Nugent, g'day, Anne, welcome back again. Anne's in everything, man. I hope she's won a few things. Henry from Elaine Jose, Silva, Fubuki, Cleo, Callie. Oh, Callie, that's my cat. That's Penny and I's cat. He snuck in there. Thanks, Penny, for that. And look, we don't have any funny regulations that family members can't win prizes from the company. There we go. So. Debbie McFarlane and Byron Rex. Now look, there's Zach from Kirsten Hutchison, Sam, Marianne Henderson, William Fraser. Oh look, there's Lulu. Lulu's our cat as well. Oh my goodness, look, there's Milo. Milo's our dog. So we've got 3 entries in that and we're going to win this. Okay, so Sparky, Gloria, and if you really want to complain about that, go right ahead. Now, Katie Fraser. 2 entries from Katie. Katie put up her cats and we did a bit of a caption of that. I think the next competition is going to be put up the image and your opening line for your dating profile picture. Now, Katie, thanks for that. Georgia, Andrea from Andrea Prickett. Hello, Andrea. We chatted the other day, I think. Albert, and there's Bear, Bean, and Rusty. I'm going to get the team to double check that that's everybody. And while we do this chat, we're going to chop these up. This episode is sponsored by Maltesers. Now, they don't know that yet, but they're going to send us a box of Maltesers because we're using their thing to help us draw the winner. You'll wait and see how we're going to do that. Thank you very much, Maltesers. If anyone else would like to sponsor our TDL TV live every now and then and send us lots of really good stuff, then feel free. We're happy to plug you shamelessly as well. All right, so thank you, Maltesers. We love that. All right, so we're going to get these over. I think my charming young assistant is on the phones to someone as we speak, and we're going to talk about Gaz Jackson. I think my other charming young assistant, Jack, would you be able to find those images of Gaz Jackson so people can see who the man is? Now, Gaz and I have been chatting, and he's agreed that one important subject that we have to talk about in a couple of weeks' time is puppy socialisation. Now, if you're going to get a puppy for Christmas, just remember, puppies are forever, guys, okay? They're not something that you get and play with Christmas, and in 6 months' time they end up down the local rescue. And by the way, if you are going to be getting a dog for Christmas or whatever, then what I would say is go down your local rescue centre, and I want to see all of the rescue centres share this and shout this out. Go to the local rescue centre and rescue a dog that's been abandoned. If you have issues with the dog, like it was barking too much, so I had to give it away, or a dog fence because it was jumping the fence and ended up down the pound too much, then what I would say to you is give us a call because we will solve all those problems, and remote training collars like these will certainly help solve a lot of those issues you're having, and advice from people like us and people like Gaz Jackson is going to really help as well. Now, the subject is puppy socialisation and the crucial weeks that you have, that window of opportunity to solve a lot of problems, including things like separation anxiety, solving a lot of problems along the way by doing the socialisation correctly, not only dog to dog and animal to dog socialisation, but human to dog socialisation as well, is going to cure a lot of the problems before they even present themselves. You don't want to be solving problems, you want to be preventing problems. Prevention is better than cure. All right, so that's Gaz Jackson. His current book, by the way, is called The Ultimate Dog: How to Select and Choose Your Ultimate Dog Right from the Word Go. Now, Gaz actually travels around. People employ Gaz to fly into someone's property, check out a litter and test the litter and say, yes, that's the dog you have to get. And then he'll fly back with that dog to that person and he will help them train that dog. So that's a pretty incredible thing to do. And he flies all the way around the world teaching people about dog training. His next book coming out is called The Dog Trainer. Now that's due out next March, and you can get in on the list to get one of the first editions of that. And maybe we'll do a book signing sometime in the future, Gaz. Thanks, Gaz. Now, The Dog Trainer, from canine world firsts to murder and mayhem. That sounds really good. Great tagline. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, we need some chopping up done over here. Okay, well, let's get on to the subject of dog training collars and how do they work, right? Now, we've got a few samples here. One thing I would like to point out, that there is something you need to be aware of. There's a lot of remote training collars available. A lot of them should not be sold in Australia. There is something called the ACMA, the Australian Communication and Media Authority in Australia. Now, they regulate all of the radio frequencies that come in, and if they're not cleared and tested, and this is the same as European standards, if they're not cleared and tested, they're not allowed to be used. And if you import these and you sell them, you must have these tested in an Australian laboratory and have full reports of radio frequency reports done. Now, we've done that for those remote trainers, and these people here who we have their remote training collars: Big Leash, Sport Dog, Pet Safe, and the Educator. We've paid and we've done those reports, and so have these companies as well. Now, if you're a dog trainer and you're bringing some of these things from eBay and you're selling them on to your clients or giving them to your clients, you can't do that unless you have CTIC on the product and you've got your test reports to back it up. Because if you get audited as an individual, you could be fined. If you're using products that do not have the CTIC on them, and it's a little triangle with a C and a tick in the middle, it's actually changed the names to the Electrocommunication ECM mark, EC mark, I think. So we'll get more information on that to you. We're starting our investigations now. If you're selling those to people, if you're a company and you're bringing things in from China and you don't hold the test results and you don't have your CTIC on your product, the fines are massive. If you are down the park and you're using a remote training collar that you bought cheap on eBay or imported from overseas and it doesn't show an Australian CTIC, you are in trouble as well. Now, enough of that subject, but all of the remote trainers here, we do have the CTIC. So just remember, if you're going to go and buy one, don't set yourself up for failure by getting something that's not passed in Australia. Okay, g'day Katie. Hello Lynn and Sandra and Andrea, thank you for commenting. Folks, don't forget the hashtags TDLTV, hashtag TDLife and hashtag dog training collar, please, that would be great. Now, how do dog training collars work? Here is the meat in the sandwich, folks. They all pretty much work the same. They pretty much do the same thing. If you are looking for quality and not the cheaper ones, they are coded for Australian conditions. Now, on that subject, if you were to create a product like this and put in all of the electronic circuitry that make it comply and not blast an aeroplane out of the sky, it's quite expensive to do. That's why there's a different price structure. So just be aware of that. With remote training collars, what happens is the dog wears a collar. And PetSafe have been nice enough to allow us to show their new remote training collars. And we're going to show you what a receiver looks like. So what happens with all of these things? Oh, so you've got your dogs watching, Andrea. That's really cool. Hello, dogs. What are their names, Andrea? That's really cool. Watching on the big screen, she says. That's great. Now, the dog wears a collar, which is called a receiver. The thing that's in your hand is called the transmitter. Now, with the transmitter, and we seem to... Carmen, I need the transmitters. With the transmitters, they're the handpiece. And when you push a button, the transmitter will send a signal to the receiver. Forgive me, I know this sounds really basic. The transmitter sends a signal to the receiver and the receiver responds. So the quality of the product actually dictates the speed of the reaction time. So we've got AM radio frequency systems. This one's pretty cool, very fast. It's an FM radio frequency, and they do pretty much the same things in different fashions. So you've got collars that will give the dog a beeper noise, which is a tone only. So remember, if you don't push the button on these remotes, the dog's not going to get corrected. And some of them have safety lock features as well. So particularly this one, you need to push it in a particular way if you're going to use the higher levels before you get a reaction. The Mini Educator for ET300, that one has pretty cool features as well. If you need to, you can lock in a boost also, and you can freeze out the levels. So more on that. I'm not going to go into the individual ones, but basically you've got a handpiece. You push the button, the dog's going to hear a beeping noise, which is an audible tone. You can use this beeping noise in situations and make it like a clicker. So it's a reward or it's a recognition for the dog. They know they've done something right. Or you can use it as a bit of an attention getter and a warning thing. So some of the handpieces look like this. And that's the new one from PetSafe. And other hand look a little bit like this, and they've got dials. So it depends on what you're sort of wanting, where you can dial up the level and push the different buttons. How do they work as well? You can add different dogs to this model. This will be a single dog model. This can do 3 dogs. This can do 2 dogs. And this can do 2 dogs if you need it to by adding collars. So you can do multiple dogs. We've even got systems that can do 6 dogs at a time. Now, when you push the vibration button and you turn these units down, the collars will vibrate and give the dog a vibration, no static pulse. And we remember what static pulse is all about. It's transcutaneous electronic nerve stimulation. So it's like a TENS machine. It'll give the dog a little correction. So when you're pushing the vibration only, you're not stim, so it's quite safe. They're just getting a vibration, and that can be used as a non-stim warning. There's having different levels on the collar. Now, different levels, if you watched our program on barking dog collars, you would have seen that there's different drive levels in dogs. And if you've got a high drive, you need a high level. So you need to be able to vary the levels, and hopefully they're not going to be so chunky that you're going to actually have the dogs getting too high a level or too much of a jump. So like this one has 15 levels, really nice level, 16 the big leash, and 7 broken down levels in the sport dog, which is great for sporting environments. And we even have one here, which is the Educator, and that has a variable dial, which is a very smooth transition. Our goal He likes that model because it is very fine-tuned and he can get some very detailed corrections out of the collar and make it just right when he's training dogs for performance work, as far as agility work, and well, what do you call it, guard dog work as well. The dog Christmas hamper, Sandra, yes, delivery time, we could do 5 to 7 days. You'll definitely get it before Christmas. Tune into the website and go and grab one. And if you mention, the guys are going to hate me for this down in the shipping department. If you mention the TDL Live TV, we might even chuck in a couple of extra gifts for you. But we've got all those pre-made. Someone might win this today. How can they win it? They've got to be live on the draw when we give away for our sheets. Now I'm going to have these cut up and ready to go on the guillotine, which is situated here. So here we go while we go on to our next subject. All right, so you can all see that. Right, next subject. How to use a dog training collar. Look, the thing you've got to remember when you are using a dog training collar is that dogs have never experienced what comes out of the collar before. So you might get a reaction. There are 3 things that are going on, folks, maybe 4. The position of the collar. Is the collar touching a funny bone or a nerve ending, and you're going to get a bigger reaction. So if it's in a position where it's hitting a nerve, then you're going to get a bigger reaction on a different day than if it's in a different position. So if you stick, I'm not going to push the button on this. I'm not going to push the button. If you stick the collar on a certain area on your skin or on your arm and then you move it, you will get a different feeling because you're hitting different nerve endings. That makes sense, okay? The next thing to remember is if the dog's skin is wet, and that's going to increase the travel of the static stimulation into the skin. The other thing to think about as well is that the dogs have dry skin. So if you get this home and you try this on yourself, we have thin, oily skin. Dogs have thicker, dry skin, and they also have hair as well. So the reaction you're going to get from the dog is different. Now the next thing to think about is, what is the drive of the dog at the time? What's his motivation? If you remember our barking dog chart, where we went through a dog can bark when it needs to if the, oh, someone's calling in already, that's cool. If you've got the dog is barking at pigeons in the trees and then his adrenaline jumps up because someone's jumping the fence, and then the collar increases gradually to hit that adrenaline level, and it stops the dog barking, then you're kind of getting an idea of how the drive is working. So if your dog's really excited, you might need to increase the levels, and you can be the judge of that. You can't say that, oh, today my dog reacted really nicely on number 3, so tomorrow all I'm going to do is use number 3. It doesn't work like that. If your dog sees a rabbit on the other side of the road, or he's got a real high dog aggression and he's going to go and run up to another dog, you need to use higher levels. Now, the other thing to remember, once they start to learn what this is all about, and we include a dog training guide in all of our products so that you can see, read a little bit about the techniques and things to think about, and we'll give you some advice over the phone as well if you wish. You can start to think about how you're going to use the remote trainer. If you've got a dog that's not coming back to you and he's ignoring you, I'm just a bit busy, okay, picture a beagle, okay, their nose turns on and their ears turn off, and they're wandering around the park and they're going, la la la, yep, sure, I'll come back, mum, blah blah blah, and you're pushed to go home. You don't need a lot to get his attention and distract him to come back to you, because he would have been trained over time. You just maybe need to give him a reminder. Initially, when you start using the remote, you might need to turn it up to a level that's slightly above his comfort zone. He's just sniffing around, having a check out of what's going on. You need to go slightly above his comfort zone so that he can then get distracted, and in the meantime, you're trying to call him back. Now, if you have a situation, and there's a few people that might disagree with me at the moment, and that's fine, I don't mind. If you have a situation where your dog is aggressive towards other dogs and wants to run across a busy road, you can't let him off the lead. He has got a high drive towards chasing kangaroos or rabbits in the bush, then have a chat. My idea and my technique is, if you pick the worst problem first and you focus only on that problem, and once you've finished working on that problem, you can then move on to the next issue once the dog's trained. A couple of things I'll mention in a minute is something Seth Pywell was good at bringing to my attention and explaining it in better detail than I could, is something called collar awareness, or being collar shy. But if you have a dog that is chasing bicycles, the way I stopped my dog running across a busy park, this was Missy, run across a busy park to go and get aggressive with another dog and beat him up, I let her go. And then I turned the collar up to let her sidestep and wonder what was going on. What I was doing was distracting her, because even though I had done some training at home with her and she recognised what the collars did, her instinct and her desires took over and she took off. Now, when I pushed the buttons, she was so busy thinking about that other dog that she didn't pay attention to the corrections from the collar. So what I did then is I had to turn it up. That really went, no, stop what you're doing. And then I was the guy calling her with good recall and giving her a reward to come back. So what happened then is I turned the tables on distracting her, and I was calling her to come back. I represented safety, and it was a great success. There is a video on our dog training page where we talked to a couple who had a German Shepherd that would pull the lady off her feet and then go and try and beat up another dog, and was very aggressive towards that. So she hired a remote training collar from us, and then she went and upgraded to a better model later on. And the next time we saw her, she came back in with her second dog that she rescued because she had great success. The dog used to turn around and try and bite her hand and make her let go of the lead so it could beat up another dog. And so this worked really well. The next thing to think about is collar aware. You don't want to get the collar, put it on the dog, and then start training and correcting the dog because he knows the collar's on. And you can often get this with bark collars as well. Then if the collar's on, I'll behave myself, and the minute you don't put the collar on, then I'll go and do what I like. We'll talk about the solution to that maybe next week, and we'll talk more about using these with aggressive dogs, which in the manuals it says don't use it on an aggressive dog. I agree with that, but there are techniques you can use to stop a dog being aggressive and even have them off the lead within a matter of weeks or months. Now, the next thing is being handpiece aware. If you stick your hand in the pocket, and every time you put your hand in your pocket, you bring this out and give the dog a correction, as soon as you put your hand in your pocket, he's going to duck for cover. That happens in maybe a few farming situations. They look at the dog and push it. So there's a few techniques we have in our thing about how to use them. So when you're using a remote dog training collar on a dog, be consistent, work on one problem at a time, don't overdo it, and you're the good guy in the equation. Remember, collars and bark collars were actually improving the relationship between the dog and the owner. This is the same with remotes. If you use a remote dog training collar correctly, you're going to improve the relationship and the desire for the dog to be doing the right thing and be rewarded. Right, we're going to leave that there. If you want to call us or look at our remote dog training collars, they're on our website. Make sure you get one that's covered by the Australian ACMA and the CTIC. And we're going to do our live draw, and we're going to sign off. So if you are present, thanks Gary Jackson, we'll see you on the 19th, and we'll have a good long chat to Gary about puppies and socialisation. And thanks again to Doi they don't know this yet, but they're going to donate this to us, so that's good. And Maltesers, thank you. We are looking forward to getting our Maltesers. This is how we're going to use the Maltesers. They're going to go upside down because they're really good on the bottom of your tongue as well as your top of your tongue, so we're going to put them upside down. And no, we don't share. All right, so we've got all of these entries. I'm going to shuffle these up as best I can. I used to shuffle cards and deal at the casino, blackjack, roulette. Professionally, you wouldn't think so though, would you? All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to back up there a bit. I'm going to let these fall, and if they land on the top of this, they're in the draw for the next one. Then we're going to put our hand in the bucket, fold them up, put our hand in the bucket, and pick one winner only. That winner is going to win the Doi. If you're here now, put your hand up, say hello, and by the way, you guys, I hope you're sharing and doing the hashtags. If you're here now, you are going to win the Dog Christmas gift hamper as well. So we've upgraded from this to this, and you could win both if you're live during the draw. So let's get these shuffled up a bit. All right. Nicole Murphy, you missed the bucket. Sorry, you're out. No, just kidding, Nicole. I'll pick it up. There we go. Oh, Nicole. Nicole's my mate from up in, I think it's the right Nicole, same Nicole. Darwin, one of the rangers. G'day, Nicole. Now, here we go. I'm going to drop them as best I can on here. Okay, we've got a few there. Individual. I'm going to drop a few more. I'm going to pick some up and re-drop them. And this is as random as I can get. Okay. I'm going to do one more run. Okay, who's there? Who's missed out? Rocky. Oh, you got a second chance there, Rocky. These guys are in the draw. Okay, I'm going to drop those in the bowl. You are in the next draw, or the next drop. We're going to do another drop. Someone's in, few people in, few people in. Okay, I'm going to get those guys and I do one more drop. I want to get as many chances as we can. Oh no. Bon, you got to make it. You got to land on there. Gem, you got to land on the top of the bucket, mate. It's no good mucking around. Okay, again. Come on. Oh no, oh that's a bit too much. Oh no, we'll leave those there. And drop them one at a time. All right, no worries. Okay, I didn't like that. Let's do one more because I picked up a stack. I'm sorry. I'm taking my time. Right, that's it. You're in and you're out. You're all out. Sorry, guys. You're out. Okay, everyone's out. Now, these guys here, I'm going to put them on the table. Thanks, Maltesers. Well done. Okay, I'm going to put them on the table and I'm going to randomly flick them left and right. No, I'm not. It's not working. This is crazy. All right, I'll tell you what we do. We put them all in here. Okay, I'm going to hold it up. Carmen, can you reach in? Okay, I want you to pick about 4 or 5 or a half a dozen or so. Okay, they're gone. Empty. These guys going in. Carmen, 1. This is it, 1. This is the draw. Okay, you made it. This is it. 1 draw. That's it. Okay, eyes closed. She had her eyes closed as well. Okay. Oh my God. It's my... No, it's not. Karen Welsh. How random was that? Well done, Karen. Now, I know Karen tunes in. I don't know if this is my mate Karen or another Karen Welsh, but because it's not spelt, the surname's not spelt the same. But Karen, this is yours. There we go. Bit of sticky tape for that. That's yours. And if you are tuning in, then let us know because you just won this. If you're not tuning in, you didn't win that. You won this though. All right, that'll be with you before Christmas. Okay, folks, thank you very much. Tune in next week for, do the hashtags please, TDL TV and hashtag live. We're going to and we'd love you to share the out of this, please. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. And on the 19th, we're going to have a chat to this guy, and you're going to be blown away. He is absolutely a magician. All right, William Fraser and Janine, g'day. Tune in next week. We are over and out. Bye for now. Do you want to do the live? The